Hello friends, my name is Karun Nagpal and I am a registered valuer. Last year I recorded a video on how to crack the valuation examination for securities and financial assets category, and a lot of people are asking me to come up with another video on land and building category. So here is the video. In this video we will talk about the registered valuer examination. So I'll give you a basic idea who is registered valuer, what all is happening in the valuation field, and how to become a registered valuer. So let us start with the contents of today's video. So here is the contents I have in front of me. So we will talk about why registered valuer, why it is emerging, why I am insisting again and again to become a registered valuer. We will talk about the draft valuer bill. We will not go into detail, but I'll give you what is happening in the bill and what will happen in case this bill take the form of an act. We will talk about the RV under the current regime of company registered valuer and valuation rules. And we will also talk about this valuers statistic all across the world in different countries and as compared to India. Who can become a registered valuer? So in our second section, we will talk about the eligibility criteria, and then in our third section we will talk about the process to become a registered valuer. I'll walk you through the registration process, what are RVOs, IBPI, and fee structure of this examination, where to enroll, and we will also talk about the syllabus for the valuation examination for land and building category particularly. And finally, we will discuss the tips to crack this examination, how to prepare, study material for preparations, what should be your strategy to crack the examination, and the important things you need to consider. So let us start, friends. In this section, we will talk about what was happening pre-valuation rules. So in 2017, when IBPI was drafting the regulation for insolvency and bankruptcy code, they felt the need for institutional framework for valuation. So prior to that, there were no regulator for valuation services. Although valuation is not something which has emerged, it is not something which is new. Rather, we have a long history of valuation. We were doing valuation under different statutes such as banking, income tax, SARFAESI, Companies Act, and the authorities under these statutes were asking for expression of interest from the valuers, and they were having different set of qualification for eligibility for empanelments. So there was no uniform process for the valuer, and the valuation was largely in self-regulation mode driven by the user of these services. So there were no standard qualification or standard set of guidelines. Each of these authorities under each of these statutes were issuing their own guidelines for empanelments. In the past, efforts were made to have an institutional framework, and the institutions such as Institution of Surveyors, Institution of Valuers, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India have tried to build in expertise. ICI in the past have also come up with these standards on valuation, but that were applicable only to its members. So since there were no regulatory body to regulate the entire profession, so that was not effective. And in 2008 also draft valuation professional bill came, but it could not take a form of an act, could not get approved. And thereafter in 2017, when IBPI was drafting the regulations for insolvency and bankruptcy code, they felt the need of valuation, and they used section 247 of Companies Act, and they framed the rules under this section as the registered valuer and valuation rules, and only a registered valuer under these rules can do right now the valuation under the Companies Act as well as IBC. So whether it is for land and building, if land and building is owned by company, or under IBC, only a registered valuer who is registered with IBPI can do the valuation. Now moving on to our next slides, which is opportunity for professional, and why I am insisting again and again to become registered valuer, because currently under the valuer and valuation rules, one can become a valuer with 3 or 5 plus years of experience just by undergoing 50 hours of training and clearing the valuation examination. So going forward, government has planned to set up National Institute of Valuers. They have already drafted the bill for that. So once the bill take the form of an act, NIV will be constituted and the valuation will become full-time profession just like CAs, doctors. So every valuation report in future has to be through the registered valuer. So in the bill, they name it as a associate or a fellow valuer. So like CA, what they does, similarly, valuer, associate valuer will be doing in future. So the initial 2 to 3 years, once the bill get shape of an act, they will allow the person with the specific qualification to enter into the profession by completing specified hours of training and clearing the valuation examination. Later on, it will become a full-time course, maybe a 2 to 3 years course, and one has to undergo. Even if you are a professional, you have to undergo for 2 years of full-time course to become a valuer. So at this point of time, just undergo 50 hours of training and clear the valuation examination. You will become a registered valuer. Going forward, these registered valuer, once the bill came into picture, will automatically get moved to the new regime. Friends, let me now talk about the number of registered valuers in India. So in total, there are 4,000 valuers as on date. For land and building category, there are 2000 plus. For plant and machinery, there are 409. And for security and financial assets, there are 1500 valuers. And you will be amazed to know that the requirement of valuers in India is 2 lakh plus. So currently, these valuers who are registered with IBPI are performing only under Income Tax Act and IBC. Going forward, if they have to perform under all the acts, so we would be requiring 2 lakh valuers. Now let us understand how this number 2 lakh has come. I have taken the data from the draft valuer bill. So this data shows the real estate valuers, the number of real estate valuer in different countries, in different developed countries over the world. So if I talk about England, estimated population 65 million and number of valuers are 45,000 plus. So they have 69 valuer per lakh of population. In Australia, if I talk about, the estimated population is 18 million, number of valuers are 7,500 and they have 42 valuers per lakh of population. Talking about US, they have 16 valuers per lakh of population, and Europe, taking the average of 50 countries, they have 16 valuers per lakh of population. So Europe and US have 16 valuer per lakh of population. Converting these 16 in Indian scenario, if US and Europe 16 valuer per lakh of population we take, considering India's population of 1.3 billion, India would require at least 2 lakh valuer in times to come. So currently, as you can see, there are only 4,000 valuers. So we have a demand of 2 lakh valuer, and as and when time progress, the valuation profession, entry to this profession will become difficult. Now friends, you would have understood the relevance of this profession going forward. So let us now talk about who can become a registered valuer. What is the eligibility criteria to become a registered valuer? Registered valuer and valuation rules under the Companies Act have divided the registered valuers into 3 categories, 3 classes. So land and building is one, plant and machinery, second category, and the third one is securities or financial assets. For land and building, if one is a graduate in civil engineering, architecture, or town planning and has 5+ years of experience, so it should not be necessarily be experience into valuation. If he is a qualified civil engineer and has worked for 5 years with any company or in practice, he can apply for registration. Similarly, for postgraduates, it is 3 years of experience, or if someone has postgraduate degree in land and building or real estate valuation, the 3 years is the experience requirement. For plant and machinery category, if somebody is graduate in mechanical, electric, electronics, instrumental production, chemical, textile, etc. And for graduates, it is into these disciplines, it is 5 years, and for PG courses, +3 years of experience is required for becoming a member of RVO. And for securities and financial assets category, if one is a member of ICI, ICSI, or ICMAI, or has done MBA or PG diploma in finance or a PG in finance, so 3 years of experience is required. So once you are eligible, then you can go for the membership of an RVO. RVO are the educational institutions, or you can say those are frontline regulator for IBBI. If I am eligible, what to do next? So let us now understand the process to become a registered valuer. So in this section, we will talk about the registration process. We will talk about RVO, IBBI. We will talk about the examination, fee structure, and the syllabus for particularly for land and building category. Let us now talk about the process to become a registered valuer. I have divided the process into 6 steps. The first one, which we have already discussed, is the eligibility criteria. So if you are eligible under any of the 3 categories, then you can approach to RVO. So there are 16 RVOs which are registered with IBBI. You have to approach them and seek for the primary membership. So let me show you the list of RVO which are registered with IBBI. Here is the IBBI website, and you will find the RVO list here and the registered valuer organization. So these are 16 registered valuer organizations, and you can choose any of the RVO, and there are some RVO which are registered only for few category. For example, this RVO is registered for land and building and plant and machinery, so you cannot go to this RVO for securities and financial assets category. So the RVO should be for that particular category for which you are seeking the registration. So like ICI is for this only securities, this again for securities. So you will have to approach any of these RVO and seek the membership. Let's go back to the presentation. So then once you become a member of RVO, then the next step is to complete the 50 hours training. And during this 50 hours, they will teach you, they will walk you through the entire syllabus, they will give you an idea about the valuation for that particular category, about the registered valuer and valuation rules, the approaches, the case studies. So we will talk about that in syllabus. And then once you have completed with the training, the next step is to enroll for the examination. But wait, before that, you will have to study a lot, because these 50 hours will not make you clear the examination. You will have to do self-study. I'll talk about that. I'll give you the tips to crack the examination, how to study and which material you can use and how to practice. I'll talk about that also. So the next step, once you are prepared and you have completed this 50 hours training and you have done self preparation, you can enroll for the examination. So let me show you how to enroll for the examination. You will have to go to the examination again on IBBI website, valuation examination, and you have to choose your asset class. For example, land and building. So you will have to register and enroll online. So it will take you to the NISM website, because NISM on behalf of IBBI is conducting the examination. So you will have to create an account here. It will ask for your PAN card, your photograph, your address proof, your qualification, your experience certificates, and the 50 hours training completion certificates. All these things you would be requiring to register. So you will have to fill up this form, all the details you have to enter, and then thereafter, once your profile get approved, it takes approximately a couple of days to get your profile approved. Then you can choose the date and timing of the examination, and you can choose the center of your examination. So examination is conducted in almost all cities, so you can choose the nearest center and then you can go for the valuation examination. So moving back to our presentation. So once you have enrolled, then next step is to pass the examination. There are unlimited attempts to crack the examination. If you secure more than 60%, you become eligible to register yourself as a registered valuer with IBBI. So the next step is registration with IBBI. You have to fill in the form and pay the fees and register with IBBI. Thereafter, you will have to apply for COP in case you want to practice as a valuer. So you will have to complete a one-day training again with RVO and then make an application for COP. Thereafter, you will be eligible to sign the valuation report and practice as a registered valuer. Then moving further, friends, more about this examination. So far, you must have understood the RVOs, the IBBI, which is the authority who is managing the fairs, valuation affairs under the company valuation and values and valuation rules. So IBBI published the syllabus, format, frequency of examination, and three classes of assets are there: land, building, plant, machinery, security and financial assets. And IBBI is conducting the examination at NISM centers, and the centers are available all across the country. You need to complete 50 hours of training before enrolling for the examination. Then you have to register at NISM portal. Important thing about the registered valuer examinations, which we have not discussed, it is a computer based examination, completely objective type, multiple choice questions, 2 hours duration, only single examination you have to give, and you don't have to write, you just have to perform in the objective type multiple choice questions. So 90 questions will be there of total 100 marks. 80 of them would be of 1 mark and 10 of them would be on of 2 marks. That would be basically the case studies. Negative marking is there, so for each incorrect answer 0.25 will get deducted. Technically 0.25, but effectively if you give incorrect answer, you will have to forego 1.25 marks, because 1 marks you have foregone and 0.25 will get deducted. Passing marks for the examination is 60%. So securing 60% is not that easy. You will have to be very careful while choosing the answers. While selecting the answer, you can leave the questions. It is not mandatory to tick all the questions. You can leave in case you are not sure. So in that case, 0.25 will not get deducted. And immediate result, you don't have to wait. Result will get displayed immediately. You can obtain the printout from your test center, and if you pass the examination, IBBI will deliver the certificate, the mark sheet at your address, registered address, within next 20-30 days. So in the examination, no material or mobile phone or internet is allowed, although rough paper will be provided for your calculation, and you can use the normal calculator. Scientific calculator you cannot use. And you can also use the Excel, or in case center do not have Excel, so they will provide you Apache OpenOffice. So you will have to make yourself comfortable with Apache OpenOffice before you go for the examination. Now friends, moving further, let me talk about the fee structure. So I have divided fees in two parts: before clearing the examination when you are a member of RVO, and after clearing the examination what you have to pay. So at first, when you seek the membership of RVO, you have to pay the fees, membership fees, which is 5,000 approx. That varies from RVO to RVO, but approximately it is 5,000. Then the training fees, which was earlier used to be around 25,000, now due to COVID, since online classes are happening, so RVOs have reduced the fees maybe from 10,000 to 15,000. You would have to pay. Then after that, once you complete the training, you can enroll for the examination, and you have to pay 1,500 for that to IBBI. And once you crack the examination, you have to go for the enrollment with RVO, and you have to pay 2k approx, 2000 approx to RVO for the registration. And then there is annual membership fees, which is 10,000 per annum, which you have to pay. And then thereafter you have to obtain the registration with IBBI, which is very nominal, 5,000 you have to pay to IBBI, and that is valid for 5 years. And COP, so some RVOs are charging for COP maybe 1,000 or 2,000, that is very nominal. So if you look at the fee, so maybe around 50-60,000 you have to pay, and you can become the registered valuer. Let us, friends, now talk about the syllabus for land and building asset class. So here is the syllabus, summary of the syllabus in fact. So economics, which is for 7 marks, bookkeeping for 3 marks, general laws, which includes Transfer of Property Act and IBC, SARFAC, Contract Act, that is for 10 marks, statistics for 2 marks, environmental issues in valuation for 3 marks, professional business ethics, which covers the registered valuer and valuation rules, that is for 4 marks, law relating to real estate, 8 marks, then the valuation of real estate, the approaches of valuation, income, market and cost approach, various purpose of valuation. If you do not know the where the valuation is required, so you can watch my other video. I have shared a video on valuation purposes. Important case laws, so there are few jurisprudence, so we need to discuss that. They may come up with the question on that. And principle of insurance and loss assessment is for 3 marks, report writing 3 marks, case study 20 marks. So this is the paper which carries 100 marks, and they will randomly pick the objective type question from these. So 7 questions you will see from economics, 3 from bookkeeping likewise, and you have to, in net you have to secure 60% to crack the examination. Let us now move forward and know the tips to crack this examination. So in this section, I'll let you know how to prepare, what study material you should use, what should be your strategy to crack this examination, and I'll give you tips to crack this examination. So what should be your strategy to crack this examination? Here I have divided the syllabus into 2 parts. First one, which carries 2/3 of the total syllabus, that relates to valuation and related stuff. So one should concentrate on valuation and related stuff. It will become easier for him or her to crack the examination. The another part is 1/3, which is laws, various laws, economics, accounts and miscellaneous other stuff. So first of all, our preference should be valuation related stuff, valuation of real estate, how to value the real estate, various approaches, income, market or cost approach. I have shared another video on that. Do watch it. Various purpose of valuation, where the valuation requirement, where the valuation is required, important case laws, 2 marks, environmental issues, professional ethics, you have to just mug up the registered valuer and valuation rules. And once you are through with the valuation related stuff, case study would be very easy. So they ask number of year purchase like case studies. So you have to practice that. And then 1/3 portion is economics, bookkeeping. So you can choose out of this Maybe if you are not comfortable on the small topics within the general laws, so you can leave that. Your target should be to approximately cover 90%, and 10% you can leave, because it would be impossible for you to cover the entire syllabus. It may take 6-8 months to go through the entire syllabus. So if you want to crack this examination maybe in 15-20 days or a month, you would have to decide your priority to crack this examination. And first of all, you should focus upon the valuation related stuff, and uh, whatever important concepts you find and you are not aware of, you can either go to the study material, or you can Google it out and make yourself comfortable with the concepts. Friends, I will suggest you to first of all do the SWOT analysis. Identify your strong areas, your strength, and then identify the areas where you are weak. If you are weak in valuation, you would really have to practice and you would really have to work hard. Identify the opportunity in case you have worked on any of the area in the past. You have done the practical aspect of some area, maybe under SARFACE, or if you have been a surveyor, so that particular area would be very easy for you. And the threat would be just failing to clear the examination. So you can, in case you fail, you can restart and then you can reappear in the examination. If you fail in the first attempt, do not get demotivated, because it is really impossible to crack this examination in first 1 or 2 attempt. It will take several attempts. So before the examination, I would suggest you to actively participate in the 50-hour training, develop your understanding of the concept, go through the material thoroughly, whatever material you have got from the RBO, or you can also download the material from IBBI website. Some of the RBO have developed the material. Practice practical question in advance, because in examination, if you have not practiced the practical questions, so in examination, if you appear in the practical, that will take so much of your time and you will not be able to complete the examination in 2 hours. Make yourself comfortable with Excel or OpenOffice. If you are not comfortable in Excel, use the formulas, functions, and then OpenOffice also you can download. It is a freeware, you can easily download that, and practice the mock test. So I'll show you how to practice the mock test. There is a very good website. Let me show you that. Here is the website, which is rvmocktest.online. So you can choose your asset class here, land and building, in case you are going for land and building, and then you can enroll for the mock test plan. So demo is free of cost, and then you can pay 699 and appear in one mock test. In case you want to practice more, you can pay 3000 and practice for 6 mock tests. So this is a very good website. You can practice before appearing in the examination. Let's go back to the presentation. Now during the examination, attempt only those questions for which you know the answer, you are sure of. Do not do guesswork. Time management is really very important. Do not spend much time on practical question. If you spend much time, you will not be left with the time for the rest of the questions. Case study, practice in advance. So case study, what I have seen, so there are only a few type of case studies, like number of years purchase or calculation of depreciation, like that. So you will have to practice that in advance, so that in examination that is easy and quick for you. And be careful of negative marking, because for every incorrect answer 0.25 will get deducted. Then friends, here I have shown you the impact of negative marking. Suppose a candidate is attempting, I have shown 4 scenarios for him. In each of the scenario, he is answering 62 correct questions. If you look at 62 questions, he has answered 62 questions. However, in scenario 1 he has attempted 95 and in scenario 4 he has attempted only 70 questions. So due to incorrect answers, his score will be 53.75 in case he only answers the correct one and reduces his negative score, he can pass the examination. Moving further, friends, important tips to crack this examination. I would suggest you to read the study material provided by RVO thoroughly. You can refer to the material available at IBBI website. RVOs have uploaded the material and that is pretty good. While going through the material, do not settle yourself with the text in the material. Explore more, understand the important terms and look for those terms over the internet. Focus should be on valuation concepts. Spend time on understanding valuation related stuff, as you would be able to crack case study only if you are strong in valuation. Give reading to rest of the course once and cover the course as much as you can. So if like topics like report writing or parallel economy, you do not have to be the master of that all. Except valuation, rest all, you just, they expect that you just know those areas. So you just have to give a quick reading of all those areas. Believe me, if you have gone once to the acts or other areas, you will be able to recall and answer the question in the examination. If you are close and you have failed, do not take long breaks in between. Appear again and again as soon as you can, because certainly you will not be able to crack this examination in 1 or 2 attempts. That may take 3, 4, 5 attempts. So do not take break. If you take break, you will forget things and you will have to spend more times recalling those things. And practice test paper, as I said, are available at RV Mock Test online website. You can go through that and practice as much as you can. Friends, that's all I have in this video. I hope I am able to make you understand about the importance of valuation and this emerging opportunity into this field, and what is the registration process, and also the tips to crack the examination, particularly for land and building category. Thank you, friends. Thank you for watching my video. Stay tuned and have a good day.